me. Forever cannot be rushed. Cause one of these days, darling, we're gonna fall in love. And in years to come, we'll spend whole days with lemonade on our back porch, just to sway into the rhythm with my hand and my heart in yours. La di di da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. One of these days, one of these nights, darling, you're in for the surprise of your life. You're gonna open your sleepy eyes to the bright, clear morn. You're gonna be dreaming about me, so don't say that I didn't warn. Cause in years to come, we'll spend whole days with lemonade on our back porch. One of these days, we're gonna fall. One of these days, I know that we're gonna fall, baby. One of these days, we're gonna fall in. L is for the way you look at me, and O is for the only one I see. And V is very, very extraordinary, and D is even more than anyone that you adore can love. And it's all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Cause two in love can make it. Take my heart, please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. Hi, and welcome to Art and Soul, inside the art of songwriting to the soul of the song. I'm your host, Caroline Jones, and this month we have special guest singer-songwriter Lee DeWise with us in studio. Hi, Lee. How are you?
Good. That was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
So Lee is here to play us songs from his brand new record, which is your third, correct?
Technically, it's my fifth, but it's my third real. I mean, it's my third real record on a large.
Two indie albums
back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I did read that.
But yeah, but it feels like my second, if that makes any sense. It feels like the second.
It does, and tell our audience why. So the record's called Oil and Water. Give us a little bit of background for those who don't know your story, who aren't familiar with your story.
Yeah.
Give us some background and how you came to this record.
Going back, I grew up, suburbs of Chicago, and I was always into music. I grew up listening to, Cat Stevens and Paul Simon and all those guys. I was raised on that stuff. So yeah, from like a young age, even like Kingston Trio, like Peter, Paul and Mary, like it gets deep. and I just loved it. I loved the songwriting aspect of it. I loved the storytelling part of it. I loved reading the songs on the back of the records while they were on, all that stuff. I loved it. And so I kind of experimented through different instruments when I was a kid, from the drums to the piano, and eventually came to the guitar and I think that my love for the guitar was instant. I mean, I played the drums. I was always rhythmic like that. I could play, and I liked keeping the beat, and I could do all that. And piano was just fun to mess around with. But then when I picked up the guitar and I learned my first, chord, I guess you could say, and I started, just playing it all the time, making up different songs with it and whatever.
So you started writing immediately?
Immediately, yeah. And what's funny is I used to learn, and then I learned so there was a Beatles songbook that was my dad's when he was a kid. And so I used to take the chords to the Beatles songs, and I would just write my own lyrics to them, because when I first learned chords, I'm young, like 14, and I don't know, So I'm just like making up my own stuff, and I'm like, okay. And then eventually I was like, I want to write my own music. So I started learning learning all of the chords, because at that point I was learning some of the chords were very complicated, but just from the books, right? So it wasn't like a beginner book. It was just jump right in book.
Well, the Beatles is pretty harmonically diverse.
Yeah. So I'm like learning all this stuff, but I'm struggling to play, a basic whatever. And so I'm sitting there and I started writing my own music, and some of the songs were really bad. I mean, when you're a kid and you start writing, you think they're amazing. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I was in and out of bands forever. And eventually I was like 16 or 17. I was playing at like a bookstore. And at this point, I'm like 3 years in. I'm playing. I taught myself guitar completely. I never took a class, never took a singing class. And I was always a self-taught in everything, though, not just me. Like if I wanted to do that, I needed to do it to figure it out. I was hands-on like that. And so, I got approached by this very small indie label in Chicago, and then we would love to do music with you, a record with you. I was like, okay, what do I know, So I sign up, and I'm like, sure, and my parents and everyone was super supportive of it. And once that ball started rolling, like that was it. Like there was no, let's try this and we'll go back to something else. Like that's what I was going to do. And so I spent a lot of my years, like 16, 17, 18, like in the studio, driving to the city and back overnight, sleeping on the couch in their studio, just doing music, as best I knew how. And, that's the early part.
Right. And then fast forward a few years.
Yep. I auditioned for American Idol, which was a big choice for me because, it was never something in my mind that I was like, I'm going to do this thing.
Right.
I know, you see some people go on there and they're like, I dreamed my whole life of this. And like, I didn't dream about it for a day. I dreamed about making music a career.
So did one of your friends say, let's audition?
Yeah. I always wanted to make music a career. I wanted to do it for a living professionally. And I wanted to play my songs for people. And I was just like, American Idol, it's not that I was against it. I just wasn't a thing I thought of, And then I was asked by a friend of mine to go audition with them in Chicago. I was like, all right, what the hell,
But the crazy thing, I have to interrupt here. It's crazy. You actually won American Idol in 2010.
I did.
And many people will know you from that, and many people will also know you from your career after that. And I wonder, sometimes it feels like, seeing the artist that you are, it does feel almost weird that you won American Idol. Does it feel like that to you ever?
You're speaking yeah, it does, because I feel that I'm a songwriter that won American Idol and not an American Idol winner that became a songwriter.
Right.
And so the reason...
It's an important distinction.
It is.
For the artist that you're going to become.
And it's important for people to know that, because I think that all too often something like American Idol can end up defining someone as a whole entirely. This is an American Idol winner. That's what you are. And that's what you will always be. And that is something I am, and that I will always be. But at the same time, there's just so much more that I feel I have to offer musically than that. And I'll always be obviously appreciative and grateful. I mean, it gave me an opportunity to really get out there and let a bazillion people see me, which is amazing. And it's honestly something I'm very proud of, and being a songwriter, though, and I'm sure you can relate, you sometimes feel this need to justify, almost like I won American Idol, but I really am an but I really am an artist too. I really am a songwriter.
Yeah,
and
but you know what? I think this is just an aside, but I really think that can be just as much of a rabbit hole, and can actually, the motivation for that can be just as shallow as the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about what other people, how they perceive you, which you ultimately can't really control. So I think what you're doing, which is leading with your music and leading with your authenticity.
That's the key.
Exactly.
And so for me, it's always been, about honesty in my music. And when I say that a lot, and I say it because when I'm writing a song, there is no planning for the song. There is no agenda. There's not. It's literally me in the studio sitting there doing, for no reason, and then all of a sudden come up with a melody and then lyrics, and then all of a sudden I'm singing a song, and now this emotion starts to happen, and I start to think about this thing, and then it becomes whatever it is. And I think for me, it's like in those moments that when I, and I'll go into the studio for 2 weeks, and I'll leave my house and I'll go in the studio and I'll sit there and I'll just be sitting there. I'm like, not today. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
But then when it hits me and I start to feel that like thing, whatever it is of inspiration, emotion for this song, that's when I can just focus in on it. And it's like, I can do this song right now. And it's very point and shoot in a way where it's like I'm in the studio and it's like, okay, I'm gonna record the guitar, I'm gonna record the vocal now. Okay, cool. And I end up always like recording the songs twice. So I always like record everything. I'm like, this is it, and then I just always end up going back. I'm like, okay, that's kind of it, and then let's do it right now. And that's kind of my process, because for me, I just, especially with this record, more than any album I've made so far, you know, Frames was a great segue for me.
Frames was the 2013 record.
Correct. I was on Vanguard, and it was a great segue from my post-Idol record, which was, in my opinion, great songs, very confusing at times, because there's some that on there that's very rock, and there's jazz, and there's that side of me showing through, which is like that, you know, singer-songwriter thing. And I think that's just a result of, you know, New Kid on the Block, major label, right? RCA, here we go. We're going to make a big record, and you're going to work with all these people. But what I gained from that was not only experience in learning the business side of the industry and studios and how it all works, but I really don't think without that record, or Frames for that matter, that I make this record. And I think that's more of the story for me, is that I can physically see like a transformation in myself as an artist mentally through years. I mean, I feel like I've lived 3 different lives. I mean, I had that life before Idol where I was in this small label. All of a sudden, boom, I win American Idol. Now years have gone by, and now here I am in my own studio making my own music. And I feel really just this album is just so me, and everything that I love about music and the harmony. Like, I've always loved harmonies, going back to like Peter, Paul, and Mary.
It
and all
really
that.
is. It's a great record. With that, will you start us off with a song from Oil and Water? Which one do you want to play first?
Oh, I will play Oil and Water. How about that? The
title track. So tell us about the inspiration behind this song.
So Oil and Water, I mean, and the name of the record itself, I mean, what the song is about is, I think that everybody has internal struggles, you know, and one of mine at times can be, you know, I have this life of a touring musician that's on the road, gone, doing it right, but I'm also at heart like a family man. I am, and to deal with that balance of I'm born to make music, like that's, you know what I mean, and so kind of just all the things that I've gone through over the years, just all kind of meshed into one, and having to say goodbye to somebody, you know, that moment of having to say goodbye, like I'll be back though, but in that moment you feel like I'm never coming home, you know, but you know you are, and it's really just about balancing like life and love and, you know, music, I guess, in a way.
This is Lee DeWise with Oil and Water, the title track from his new record on Art and Soul.
Kiss me goodnight, 'cause I'll be gone in the morning light. I just wanna tell you that I need you one more time. And every time the taxi comes, I second guess myself. What my life's become, gotta separate what I want and what needs to be done. So won't you kiss me goodnight, 'cause I'll be gone in the morning light. I just wanna tell you that I need you one more time. So let me one more time. Oh, so let me one more. Kiss me goodnight, 'cause I'll be gone in the morning light. I just wanna tell you that I need you one more time. Every time the sun goes down, allow me to wrap my arms around you like oil and water. regret you, like oil and water, like oil and water. So won't you kiss me goodnight, 'cause I'll be gone in the morning light. I just wanna tell you that I love you one more time. So kiss me goodnight, and I'll be gone in the morning light. I just wanna tell you that I need you one more time. Oh, and every time the sun goes down, well, I'll be home to wrap my arms around you like oil and water, like oil and water. Hey, hey. Oh, we love like oil and water. Oh, we love like oil and water. Oh, we love like oil and water.
That's Lee DeWise with Oil and Water, the title track of his new album out now. Go pick it up.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, so this is a song that I wrote around Valentine's Day, actually, because I was like, are you ever scrolling through your Instagram and you see, all these love messages on Valentine's Day? And it occurred to me that we've become such a image-based culture, for better and worse in some ways. And people are so ready and eager to present themselves based on what they look like or what they have or what they've accomplished. And so rarely do people want to lead with who they are, which is what actually matters, kind of, especially when you're choosing someone to love.
Of course.
And so it just occurred to me that, people try to be so attractive and so hot and so sexy based on what they look like, especially online. And I just had this thought that that nothing's sexy like love. Nothing is sexy like someone who really loves you. To me, that's what's most attractive. And so I wrote this song called Sexy Like Love. You touch me like it's the last night of our lives, every night. You carry me up the stairs, show me you can. I fake a fight, but the truth is, babe, I see the magazines. People post so crazy with their selfies begging, look at me. But nothing gets me, nothing gets me, nothing gets me, 'cause nothing's sexy like love. Ooh, baby, nothing's sexy like love. So let them search, let them sample and judge. I don't mind, because the way you look at me is enough to turn me on and start me up. Make my heart wanna give it up, 'cause nothing's sexy like love. Oh, baby, nothing's sexy like love. So darling, do what I need with my energy. This time is a treasure, and won't you kiss the palm of my hand? Break all my plans when your plan is my pleasure. Hey, 'cause nothing sparks a woman's heart like a man who knows his art and lets it be safe and free to just let go, to just let go. 'Cause nothing's sexy like love. Oh, baby, nothing's sexy like love. So let them search, let them sample and judge. I don't mind, because the way you look at me is enough turn me on and start me up. You make my heart wanna give it up. 'Cause nothing's sexy like love. Ooh, baby, nothing's sexy like love. Sexy like love. Sexy like love. Sexy like love. You're listening to Art and Soul with Caroline Jones. We go inside the art of songwriting to the soul of the song. So we're hearing the stories and songs of Lee DeWise in studio in New York City, Sirius XM today. And Lee's been playing us songs from his new record, Oil and Water. He just played us the title track. And will you play Stone for us now?
I was right there.
You were?
I was right
We're
there.
in sync, Lee.
Yes.
I want you to play this song because you've said that it encompasses the album's themes, which you listed. You've already talked about honesty,
Yeah.
self-realization, and emotion. Talk about the process of making this record, first of all. And I think Stone was one of the first songs.
It was one of the
that you
first
wrote
songs I wrote.
for the record.
And it definitely, I would say, on like a very deep emotional level, means the most to me on this album for a lot of reasons. What this song meant to me in the beginning when I wrote it, it became something else. Halfway through, it was one of the first songs, and when things happen in your life, and when I was in the middle of this song and I was writing it, just there was a lot of stuff going on, and this song just became one of these songs that was about life and where your place is in it. And so as the record went on, it just became my favorite. And I think for me on a personal level, one of those songs that I'm like really glad that I wrote. I don't know, I'm sure you can relate in a way where there's those
Absolutely,
songs.
I'm proud of, because when I first heard the song, it sounds like a song that could have been written in any decade, in any century almost. Like it sounds like a really old, one of those like old Appalachian folk songs to me.
I love hearing that. Yeah.
And it has, a lot of kind of darkness and melancholy, but it's also profound and meaningful.
Yeah, there's like a release to it. There's like an emotional release to it, and I think that you nailed it. I mean, there is this kind of sad undertone to it, but at the same time, it's also has this kind of like freeing aspect of it. And when it was the hardest song to say it's done for me. Like there were ones where I was like, well, we nailed it, right? It's I'm never done, but this one from over a year.
You mean the recording process?
Yeah, just of it. I was very particular about this one, and it just needed
because
to be,
you wanted it to come off on the record like you felt it.
Yeah, I wanted it to be right. It had to be right. Like there was no not having it be right in it, and down to like the littlest thing.
So how is it producing your own records? Because this is the second one that you've had production credit on, and this one
was much more involved than even the last one. I mean, I produced the last one, but there was a kind of more of a team effort going on.
And this was really just you in the studio with Nico,
my engineer, and
Grossfield.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it's wild because I would sit there and it's almost like every decision that had to be made on the album, I had to make.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like every little thing that's on there was my choice, and in a way that's scary because it's like it's on me, right? But then it's also, I'm proud of the fact that it's on me because it's the way I want it.
So did you play all those instruments? It's a pretty spare album, but there are drums.
Stone is a song that I had a violin player, and it was like this one had to be like that. It just did. But overall, I mean, I did most of the all keys really on the album. A lot of the drums, guitars. Yeah, I was in there a long time. But yeah, I mean, anything. I'm one of those. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, I can play everything perfectly, but I can definitely pick up anything.
What's called for.
What I need, I can do it. And if I don't know how to play the oboe, but I need to have that one note, I'll figure it out. And that's just the way I am, though. Like I said earlier, it's like if I want to do something, I'll figure out how to make that sound and make it work. But for me, it's all just about what sounds. It sounds simple, but what sounds good in my ears. Like, you know, maybe you're not supposed to do this. No, you're not supposed to put this there or this there. But like, if I like it,
No
like,
rules,
There's
right.
no right.
It's art.
And that's how it was in the studio. So it wasn't like I could do something and I had this team of people. Not by choice, though. I mean, I wanted to make the record this way, and so it wasn't like sending it off to the label, and then there was like we want it. It was like, this is the record. I mean, it was really me, my engineer, and my manager. Like, those are the three people that were mainly involved, and then close people in my family, my wife. Then it extends, right? My friends that got to hear the songs, and it all goes out and out and out, and it's kind of like this thing that just spreads. But at the core of it, it was just me in the studio writing songs and doing to the songs what needed to be done to them, I guess. So
play a Stone. This is Lee DeWise with Stone from his record Oil and Water, out now.
Tide is high and the river's cold. Goes down in the morning clouds, down in the river where I threw my stone, down in the river where I threw my stone. Hear my voice will cry out loud. Running water is the only sound. Won't you lay my body down? Oh, now lay, won't you lay my body down? Oh, now lay my body down.
So this is a song called Ready for Love, and it's a song about a lot of us are kind of cynical and pessimistic, and I think sometimes that can be the easy way out, you know, because there's so much bad news in the world, and I think it actually takes more intelligence and more strength to be optimistic in this world and to look for the good in other people and the good in circumstances, and most importantly, we forget the good in ourselves. And so this is called Ready for Love. We have asked under blue skies count your losses, disheartened and shamed. Well, it matters a lot, 'cause you're the missing link. Who can open your heart like a window in March on the first day of spring? Are you ready for love? Love is ready for you. Can you let yourself dream dreams before they come true? The question isn't if you're worthy enough. Love is ready for you. Are you ready for love? Do you dare to feel now? Hey, hey, how you think you'll feel then? And imagine your life if you knew that it wasn't an if but a when. Oh, I hope you live in the moment. I hope that you expect all the good. And when it falls into place, a smile lights up your face, 'cause you knew that it would. Oh, 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 oh. Are you ready for love? Love is ready for you. Can you let yourself dream dreams before they come true? The question isn't if you're worthy enough. Love is ready for you. Are you ready for love? You gotta give what you want. You gotta see the grand view. This is a beautiful world. It's a reflection of you. You gotta love who you are before anybody you prove. You gotta follow you. You gotta follow your Are you ready for love? Love is ready for you. Yeah. Are you ready for love? Love is ready for you. Can you let yourself dream dreams before they come true? Hey, the question isn't if you're worthy enough. Love is ready for you. Are you ready for love? The question isn't if you're worthy enough. Love is ready for you. Are you ready for love? Hi, I'm Caroline Jones, and I'm here in SiriusXM's New York studios with Lee DeWise, singer-songwriter, and he's playing us songs from Oil and Water, his most recent album. What are you going to play us now?
I think I'm going to play you Learn to Fall.
This is one of my favorites on the record. Tell us about the story behind this song. It's a beautiful one.
So, I guess in my life, in my career, I think learning to fall is something we all are forced to do. You learn to fail, and you don't really get to practice it. And sometimes, we touched on it earlier, being optimistic when it's so easy to be pessimistic. And finding your own way. I think a lot of this song is just about a personal journey, that you take, that I took, in my own way, that I've been on throughout my career. And it's just, from leaving my family when I was younger, to go off and to follow my dream, and all the way up to, just to today. And, it's definitely got that sad feeling to it. But again, I think that underneath all of that, there's hope. And I think that's really what the song means to me.
It's interesting that as you're speaking, I'm thinking about failure, and I'm thinking about how it's funny that something so inevitable and so universal we oftentimes go through alone and feel like something's wrong with us when we fail. And it reminds me of this. There's a amazing poem called "The Race," and it ends with it's like an epic poem. It's several minutes long to read it, but the last stanza, it has always stuck with me. It says, "And all of life is like that race with ups and downs and all you have to do to win is rise each time you fall." Doesn't that give you goosebumps?
Yeah,
because it's so true, and it's
right.
funny that music is one of the few outlets, creative outlets, that allow people to feel okay when they fall, which is so funny because it's inevitable and everyone does.
Yeah, and I think for me, and when I say failure, it means so many different things to so many people. It doesn't mean to me when I'm talking about it now, it's more of, personal failure, ways you failed yourself, and I think that for me, whenever I'm in those moments, I've always, music's always, since I was a kid, in my lowest moments, like on a personal level, and I'm not talking about, of course, you have like loving people in your life, my wife, my friends, my family, those
support system.
But the internal struggles you go through, everyone needs something. And for me, I've always had music. And I think that's really what the song means to me, I guess.
This is Lee Wise with "Learn to Fall."
Oh, you are gonna be the only one I'm gonna see for a long time. Maybe it's the wrong time, but I'm sure you'll let me know. 'Cause you see, I don't need a thing, unless there's something that I'm missing, I'll be just fine. Maybe it's the right time. That's why I need to go. Just me, or is there something I don't see that keeps me trying? Oh, there's no use in deciding. This is just the way it goes. And if there's something you could say to make all this go away, I swear I'd listen. Oh, but something more is missing. Don't think either of us know, 'cause that's why I need to go. So tell my mother not to worry, tell my father none of this is his fault. Try to hear them when they do call. If I don't forget by then, 'cause you see, every man creates, and then he makes the same mistakes. His life goes dark. How quickly we learn to fall. I guess it's just a means to an end. I guess it's all a means to an end. Oh, you are gonna be the only one I'm gonna see here for a long time. Maybe it's the wrong time, but I'm sure you'll let me know. That's why I need to go.
It's Lee Lead to Wise with Learn to Fall. You're listening to Art and Soul. I'm your host, Caroline Jones. You know, Lee, it occurs to me you're just about done with a tour of that you've been on for several months, and it occurs to me when I hear you play, you really are so fluid rhythmically, and you know from playing solo acoustic shows, I'm assuming, and it's actually a beautiful artistic license, really, because when you have a band, you don't have that luxury, but when you're by yourself, you do, and it gives more meaning to the song when you slow down and speed up in certain lyrics and use different tones in your voice. And as someone who plays solo acoustic shows as well, you have to use all of those tools in your arsenal.
Well, I totally appreciate you saying that, because there's certain parts of songs like that, for instance, when I'm playing it, I'm coming out of that, I'm doing that, and all, right, and then I get to the part
verse about your mother,
right?
And
so
your father.
yeah, so when I get to that part, it definitely is like a thing for me, because I get, so tell my mother not to worry. It means so much to me, and when I sing a song, even if I've sang it a million times, because I mean what I'm saying. It's in me to just sing it how I mean it, if that makes any sense, rather than tell my mother not to worry, it's like I'm really saying, tell my mother not to worry, and it means something to me. So when I'm singing it, it's just, for me, being that emotional on stage has always been something that helps me do what I do. I mean, if I didn't have that part of me, I don't think I would do this.
Well, you wouldn't be an artist. I mean, that's what artistry is, really. And there's a conviction that comes when you're singing the words that you wrote and that you mean and that came from your heart.
Yeah.
So I think it's a beautiful format to stand on stage and tell your stories to people just directly, no filter, not even a band.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. How do you find those shows?
What do you
Those
mean?
really intimate shows, how have they been?
I love them. I love it. I mean, when I can sit up there and I can see people and I'm singing to them and I'm in a room. I mean, when I have those moments where I'm singing and, you hit a note, let's say, and there's just quiet and everyone's listening. Like, that's my favorite.
And their hearts are open. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's why I love being on stage.
This is a song called Your Heart Is Mine, and it's a song that I wrote about, we've all experienced it in some way, shape, or form, but it's a song about really loving someone so much enough to let them go. It's that old adage, and really letting someone be free. And for that to be really the highest calling of love is to let that person be free and want happiness for them, even if it means that they're not always in your vicinity or in your arms. And it's called Your Heart Is Mine. Your heart is mine the moment you laid eyes on mine. I memorized every line, every crease in the kind of your smile. What a find, what a crime. And my path is so clear that my fears disappear, and I can't picture life as before, 'cause now your heart is mine. Your heart is mine. I see the signs. You're mesmerized. Your heart is mine, and I won't take it for granted, mine. Oh, and I won't step on your soul, 'cause your trust is mine. Like a butterfly lands in your hands with wings that you can't hold. So I look up with pride as you take to the sky, and I know you will fly back to me in good time, 'cause your heart is mine. So go and fly, tear up the sky. You're gonna find in time. Your heart is mine. Oh, your heart is mine. that's alright. 'Cause your heart is mine. I said that's alright. Go and fly because your heart will always be mine. Go and fly because your heart is mine. Mine. Your heart is mine. Your heart is mine. Your heart is mine. Your heart is mine. We're intertwined. The stars align. Your heart is mine. Your heart is mine. Ooh, your heart is mine. Your heart is mine. Mine. I'm your host, Caroline Jones, and you're listening to Art and Soul. We are going behind the songs with Lee DeWise in the studio today. He's been playing us songs from Oil and Water, his new record.
Yeah.
And he's going to play us West now.
West, yes.
What is this song about? What inspired it?
So I don't really write a lot of songs when I'm on the road, believe it or not.
Yeah, how do you find that? Is it difficult to find time or just inspiration?
It's hard both. You know, when I'm on the road, I'm so, I don't know. I just don't do it. It's because if I'm not, I perform, right, a lot. So, like, we just did 34 shows in 47 days, something crazy like that.
Well, also for people who are listening who, you know, most of them have never been on tour. This isn't their occupation.
Right.
So,
it's not.
I think that people listening could understand that all your energy goes into, from the moment that you wake up, you're thinking about the show. That's where your energy is projecting kind of forward.
I mean, you've got to drive. You want to try to get sleep. All these things are going on. It's very hard in the middle of all that to be like, I'm going to write this great song.
Right.
But I did write this one on the road.
One gem.
Yeah. And when
Do you remember where you were?
I do. I was in Madison. I was in Madison. I was leaving Madison, and yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, I was leaving Madison, and it was before the show, which was really weird because I was in the green room and I was really missing home, and I was gone for a while, and it was one of those things where I just as much as hard as it is to be gone and to be away, you know, there's that anchor for me, which is, you know,
music.
Music, which it's again that balance we're talking about, music and
Oil and Water,
and my wife,
right.
And without,
does she travel with you a lot? She's here. Actually.
She is here
she's
today.
Beautiful
Yeah, she's
lovely.
in there. Jonathan there. She's hiding back there. But you know, you're on the road. You start to sometimes forget who you are, even like not like really, but you know what I mean. You're just doing it, and you're just out there playing, and it's like, but you know, no matter how far I travel or how many shows or how long I'm gone, I know that there's someone there for me, and that's enough to kind of get you through, and that's West for me, California.
I love that. So does she know that the song is about her?
She better. Yeah, she knows.
Does he write you romantic songs all the time? She's like, yes, he does.
Yeah.
We can all live vicariously through you as he plays this song, West. This is Lee DeWise.
There's a place that I remember, somewhere in the west. The weather's always warmer. There's a girl who loves me best. There's a girl who loves me best. The faces I remember, the names all the same. The only song I'm listening to is the sound of the pouring rain. The sound of the pouring rain. I said I've been my only friend. You carry me again. Sing, but out there in the open, there's a girl who loves me best, and it's easy to forget when you're alone. All the miles are all behind me, put my heart to rest. I can't help but wonder when I'm going home. So when I'm going home. So when I'm going home. Tell me when am I going home?
That's Lee DeWise with West, a song about life on the road from his record Oil and Water. You know, your voice is so powerful. It's amazing because you have these really intimate moments, and then all of a sudden you'll just explode. And a lot, I mean, I'm sure even when you play live or for people who haven't heard you before, it's really unexpected almost in an amazing way. You know, it's an amazing thing. But is that something you get a lot? Wow, your voice is so powerful.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I'll be if someone's never heard of me or been to a show or they're at a show, and all of a sudden, you know, I'll be up there and I'll be like,
yeah,
and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, and they're like, holy crap, you know. But the thing is, it's all about that emotion for me. Like,
right.
and honestly, I reference one of my favorite artists is Cat Stevens, and I remember watching him as a kid. Like, I literally would go to the library and get like DVD, like movies of his tour.
VCR, remember that?
Yeah, and I would just, you know,
right.
And there's like this emotion behind everything he did, and all those elements, you know, for me as a kid, it's like I got it, and I was like, he means what he's singing about. And it just translated for me. And so when I'm up there, and it's always different. Like if I played West for you right now, it would be 100%
different than what you just played.
It'd be the same song, but maybe I don't do that. Maybe, you know, and it's just how I'm feeling in that moment. And, you know, that's
what's beautiful about the live experience, really, is that, and especially if you don't have a preconceived arrangement or you don't have a band, you know, that's a great advantage of not having a band.
It also makes it hard recording, though.
Yes.
Because you go in one day and you go, you know, it's a place that I remember. Next day, it's a place that I remember. You know, right. You're like, which one? I don't know. And then, you know, it's like, so it's...
to be an artist.
But that's also the beauty of it as well, you know, and that's what I think these songs really lend themselves to that, where they can just be whatever they are.
And folk music in general, because that was the tradition, to be sung a different way every time by a different person and passed down.
It's the lyric.
Absolutely.
I feel like the music on this album specifically for me, like I wanted the music to support the lyric. It's not this like overproduced whatever, like all this music and these like lyrics that are in there. It's like you could take the music out,
everything away,
and
it would be
just
poetry,
you know, right. And all the miles that roll behind me put my heart to rest. I wonder if I'm ever going home. Like that's the beauty in the songs for me, is that they mean something lyrically to me, and it's not just about the music supports the lyric for me. And I think that if there was a goal for this record, it was that, you know. Anyways,
well done.
We could talk about this forever.
For sure. Oh, I could too. So this is a song called Worth the Wait, and it's a song about not settling in life or in love, and not really needing someone to complete you. You know, so many people are out there searching for someone to make them feel whole and make them happy. And I really think that if you feel whole and happy by yourself, then that's your best shot at finding real love. And that's what this song is about.
I want a man who will call me baby, in the light of day and in the dark of night, when the stars shine for the taking. The kind of love petals fall year after year as time goes on. And we will search in vain and in fear for the comfort of a fairy tale alchemist who makes our weakness strong. We mistake this fantasy for love, but I don't need a man who doesn't understand the difference separating need and trust. 'Cause I want a man who will call me baby in the light of day and in the dark of night, when the stars shine for the taking. And my good is his and his good is mine. He's a heart of love and never fades. He's a courage far too rare these days. And it's the kind of love that's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. Well, you don't have to be hopeless to be a hopeless romantic. Desperation only intervenes. In giving we receive beyond what we believe. Love will come. Will you be ready? Ready for a man who will call you baby in the light of day and in the dark of night, when the stars shine for the taking. And my good is his and his good is mine. He's a heart of love and never fades. He's a courage far too rare these days. It's the kind of love that's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. Worth the wait, yeah. 'Cause I want a man who will call me baby in the light of day and in the dark of night, when the stars shine for the taking. And my good is his and his good is mine. He's a heart of love and never fades. He's a courage far too rare these days. And ours is the kind of love it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. I have the pleasure of singing with Lee on Again, which is the first song on the record.
Yes.
And it was actually the song that got me into this album. I think I was...
So it was well placed.
It was,
Okay.
for sure, because I was perusing iTunes and there was a promo for your record, and I actually listened to the song and I went, wow. Because I remembered you from American Idol several years ago, and I went, wow, what a beautiful, the harmonies, the sonic landscape of the song.
Thank you.
Tell me about, it's a relatively short song.
It is.
But it hits home, you know?
Yeah.
How did you write it, and why did you put it first?
Definitely one of those songs that I was just speaking from the heart and that in the moment. You know, I think the theme throughout this record is, you know, it's very introspective for me and personal. But I think anyone can relate to that. You know, just one more day, like just all that moment of whatever it is. Maybe it's love, maybe it's, you know, the loss of somebody. It doesn't matter. Just for a while, just a little while, let me feel that love again. Let me feel like my feet on the ground. Let me feel stable again. Let me feel, you know, at home. Let me just feel comfortable just for a second more, like whatever that may mean to anybody. And that's really what it's about.
Right, because isn't that what we're all searching for?
Right. And in those worst moments, you know, you just for a while, just a little tiny bit, can I just have that one moment, you know, where I just feel everything's a peace.
Yeah.
And
beautiful. Well, it's a gorgeous song, and thanks for letting me sing on it.
And the reason it's called Again is because it's kind of like every time, you know, I feel like we go through that a lot. You
For
know?
sure, life, you're always finding yourself and then
here
losing
I am,
yourself and then finding yourself.
You know,
yeah.
Here I am again, right? It's
Absolutely.
Like, here it is again. And you're always faced with it. And no matter how many times you're faced with it, you can never really prepare yourself for whatever that may be, and I don't know. I'm glad you like
so
it though.
Then the ideal would be to actually just embrace that and embrace
Exactly.
the journey. Yeah.
Exactly.
One more day feels like home again. For so long now, I was my only friend. But I know it won't be long till I pack my things and I'll go. So for a while, just a while, let me feel at home again. Feel the air beneath my feet again. One more night, see my love again. And I know it won't be long till I pack my things and I'll go. So for a while, just a while, let me feel at home again. And I know it won't be long till I pack my things and I'll be gone. So for a while, just a while. For a while, just a while. So for a while, just a while, let me feel at home again.
This has been Art and Soul with Caroline Jones, exclusively on SiriusXM's Coffee House.
Hear it again anytime on your phone using the SiriusXM app.